Good morning. Social design, a global experience of innovation. I want to share with you some of this experience. It is my methodology. Basically, I was working with big companies in Italy, like a product designer. So basically, all the Gotha of the Italian producer was working with me, from Ferrari, the car producer, until Ducati, and all this, very important. And many years ago, I started thinking, doing questions to me. And now my clients are the orange one. Nobody knows these places, and nobody knows these communities. And I will explain to you why. This is Haiti, not the bar, the nice bar that we have, but the Port-au-Prince. And the question I started doing for myself and to my colleagues was, why, in front of complex social situation, there is an international trend to realize only classic solutions? Something happened, the building falling down, we build again. It's a good business. We say no. And of course, we can find some nice architect or some good designer to have a nice tropic body. But nobody asks to the community if they want this building or not. Because the projects come from the sky, like the spaceship. The architecture and the official design are not too outdated. This is the new building of the new government building in Port-au-Prince. The original one was fallen down, and this is already the new one. But nobody cares about the people in the street. They are taking care about the new building of the government. And this studio comes from Austria, and they never touch the floor of Haiti because they are afraid about the cholera, about the bad problems, about the... So how these people can design from one part of the world to another without knowing the people? So what's happened? Something like that. This is a project for the people who lost their houses, and this is for Red Cross, and each one of the 10 have Wi-Fi and have also a GPS to know where are you located. My God, there is no computer, there is no electricity. Why you want to put Wi-Fi? But this is the kind of project that they are running all around. And especially because the people like some easy solutions. They like containers. Containers, everybody likes containers. The architect and the designers really love it. There is a problem, let's do a container. Let's take a container, we cut, and we do a house. But nobody of this architect or designer want to be in this house. They build for others. And they forget that maybe this container is $5,000. And with $5,000 in Haiti, you can buy a big city, you can build a house. But there is a project, and this is the result. Look at the result. Look at the project, very nice architectural style. And after the result, you have a box. A metal box in a tropical country. And look, this is made for Hitachi. I prefer to be in the right. It's much more comfortable, this paper and plastic houses than the other one. Of course, the other one have electricity, but if you have any house thing works with electricity, who cares about electricity? So all these questions produce unfriendly solutions. And this kind of unfriendly solution are very well used. In Haiti, there is 20,000 soldiers taking care about nothing. Protecting themselves, they're protecting their own salary. Full of tanks. And there is the answer for the community if the people are not happy. And this is the result. This is I took from a Haitian top before, in the middle, after. So I was invited to Haiti to work, And I was the first one of this. I worked for the United Nations, one United Nations program. I was the only one who was able to go, because otherwise all the people remain in Santo Domingo. It's like do a project in Iceland, but do from Norway. And so I went there, and I discovered that we need to talk with the people and to work in participation and to do confrontation. So I always say that the participative design needs from the social confrontation. If the community are too quiet, there is no creativity. The problematic communities always have something. It's like the volcanoes, you know, something happening. And the desire is, we want to do something. The desire is like woman and man, is the power of our life. So I arrived in a very bad moment because the caller arrived because the UN. So I jumped immediately from a car from the UN in a taxi because I don't want to be shooted in the street because I was working for the UN. And the discussion was, I need to work with the gang people because Haiti is full of gang, drugs dealer, whatever. So the confrontation, the project needs to be realized between official cultures and marginalized culture. We cannot decide which culture is a good one. So we start working on the previews, because normally I am the last one of the line. I arrived 2 years later, and everybody I have already tried to do something. And they say, no, we cannot work with these people. These are magicians. They don't want to do red things because this is, they feel that red is a bad color. And this buyer in America want all these chairs red. So I started learning about the community, and I discovered that part of the producers was believed in the voodoo. And voodoo is not only the black magic, it's a religion. So we need to discuss with them what kind of colors, what kind of magic we can do before to decide what the hell of production we want to do. We have some obligation, but the discussion with the producer was also, what do you like to do? Because in this condition, look at this, was the last of the containers project. Somebody decided that they need to be in tropics, so we put some colors. This is the more deep involvement in the reality. We need to ask to the producers, but not to the owner of the production, but to all the workers, what do you like to do? Because if we don't want to do something, maybe we will do, but we will do in a bad way. So we started doing a small project between magic and design. Magic, because 80% of the people who worked with us was believing in voodoo. And the rest of 20% believe, but don't talk about that. So one of the producers say, hey, if we do this bookshelf, I can put some metal things with the god of, with some image of the god of the resistance, the god of the wood. So this furniture will be more stronger than another one. I say, yes, this is the technology. When you have no technology, magic is also technology. Because if everybody believes that furniture be stronger because they have the image of the god of the trees, why not? So we start doing, this is a very short speak, so I need to jump from one fan to another. But we realized a complete project where the magic was involved. Was involved like cultural heritage. Was involved because the people was trying to do, the people that the object that they believed it was working. And at the same time, the innovative presentation guarantees to this production that can be sold all over the world. So basically, my discussion is that we need to cross from the vertical process. No? We have a brand, or we are talking about product, but we can talk about a lot of other items. The decision comes from the top. And somebody says, it's like the story of the banks. You know very well now, in Italy, we know exactly, we had the same problem. Nobody works with the bank, and one time to another, you need to pay the bill. You say, hey, I have not do anything with my bank. And why this bank spent 20 billion of euros, and now it's my problem. So in the product, this is with the decision, and at the end, we have some stupid people, this is the American style, the stupid people decide to buy products that some marketing research, culture research, technician decide to do it. My opinion is that we need to create a horizontal process. It means we need to involve in the production not only the brands, but we need to involve who will buy it, the buyers, who will produce, the workers in the community who will accept this production in their home. So we must innovate the process. The traditional structure, vertical structure, is out. Yes, it's full all over the world, but we need to think in the next step. So I will show you some example. This is my last works all over the world where I apply this. So I will show some couple of examples. One is in Canada. This is really bad news, fresh news. Okay, this is part of the First Nation. The First Nation are the original Indians who lived in Canada before the whites arrived. And this is the part of the community. And there is a very nice museum in Quebec. It's a Musée de la Civilisation, where they have a nice exhibition. It's called We, the First Nation. It's a permanent exhibition about the American Indians. And each 5 or 6 years, they renew it. And they say, OK, let's do it again. They invite a new curator. And normally what they do, the curator is an artist or a designer. And so go to your community and say, oh, these men have a nice pin. Let's show this pin. Oh, Mr. President, are you there? You have a nice ring. Can I have your ring? So he do the curator. And after, maybe talk with some community. So the result is this. It's the obvious result of a white view of an Indian community. This time, this museum asked to an international group of designers who think like me, and where I am involved. So we say, OK, we can do this curator, but we will not be the curators. We will invite to the communities be the curators. So the first time that the Indian communities will show what they want to show about their culture. We are not us who decide. Because as you see, it's a big exhibition, but it's a classical exhibition. There is not Sitting Bull and Lone Ranger because it's not Canadian. So what we do is the concept that all the communities worked and the design curators are working like catalysator. Something like join the discussions. And we create a new social structure in design. The designers, the communities, and the museum. Because the museum, when we talk about that, they have their hair like this. Because the museum people like to put all in a box, no? All clear, box, clean. And we start a really dream project in all the communities from the north, asking step by step, community by community, what they want to show about their culture. It means it's 2 years' work with a van, with students from different universities who are traveling all over, asking to the communities, doing workshops with the communities to arrive to a result. I have not all this time, but I can show one workshop, we do it in Manawan. Was there, this is a Google Earth, and have no street, anything, it's in the middle of nowhere. So we arrived there, this is one of the van, and this is the organization to arrive to the community. I put my photo because everybody say this man download from Image Bank and put that. This is what was where we sleep. This was my dream, sleep in a TP for years. And this was a discussion, it was the design table. The design table was discussed with the community what they want to show. And we have no paper, so we use pieces of wood to try to create like modules for discuss, because we need to do an exhibition, so we need to put things. Somebody showed me like this, I don't know what it means, but I think it's not good. Future. And we built, and this community built their own exhibition. So, works. We arrived to the result is accepted, and now the community are producing the exhibition. They are not only take the decision of the exhibition, but they produce their scenography and the product we will send in the shop. So the community will participate also economically in this exhibition. Another one, very, very, very fast, is in Egypt, to show that the government sometimes go out and the project continues. I started doing this project 3 years ago. So it was a classical project, and the project was, okay, Egypt was full of tourists in this time, and all the souvenirs was produced in China. Pyramids, Tutankhamun, and all this horrible tourist stuff arrived from China. And there was communities who are artisans who have no any chance to sell this product. So what we did is join all together and say, okay, what we can do, because you are a trader, you import from China, but you live in this community. You cannot you cannot forget about all these people. So we joined them in one group and say, okay, what we can do with our materials, ecological, of course, all this sort, and with our know-how, because we cannot bring we have no money to bring other know-how. So we arrive to the community. They are very, very poor communities, and so they do stupid things like small boxes for the fruits, or the carpet was absolutely organized by the traders, like communities that you cannot sell out of this. We found the products, and the product was divided between very Arabic products and very touristic tourists. It was not a mix. The trade exhibition was horrible, like a souk. Nobody can buy things in this. And this was in October. In November, we start doing workshops, inviting community, artisan, traders, and some designers, foreign designers, and some Egyptian designers. And we arrived to create a collection, a small collection. And immediately we went in January to do this exhibition in Maison Objet, one of the bigger trade exhibition in the world about these products. And we do a small exhibition, and the results were so good that we returned in February, to do the specific design assistant, because the community asked, no, we don't know exactly how to do that. So we arrived and we returned in the community. And doing that, we do a lot of changes of our project. And we arrived to this exhibition. 6 months later, 8 months later, the first start of the project, we have this result. This was an exhibition we did in the bigger fair in Egypt. Of course, we have to take care about the presentation, the culture, the logic of that. But the beautiful story of this project is after arrived the revolution. The revolution stopped all the projects, but this project continued because the government are not more implicated. So thank you very much for your time, and see you next time.